What's going on, Big Salon Gamers? It's Spencer, and you clicked this title and you wanted to see the top 5 wonder weapons in Cold War zombies, and well, here it is. I mean, if you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe, all that cool nonsense. Speaking of that, Godzilla Earth, Fire Clips Only, Jonathan Olfert, and Shogun X23 subscribe to me, and if you do, I'll shout you out as well. Plus, a flock of angry crows won't come and eat you alive. So there's that. But on that, gamers, let's get into the tier list. Now, to start us off with this, we are going to be having on our number 5 is the Die Shockwave, and this thing has a pretty great standard, just starting out weapon for at least wonder weapons, just in general for Cold War. I mean, let's be honest here, it's not the best, it's not the worst. Honestly, out of all the wonder weapon upgrades in D Machine, it ranks a little bit higher than the Nova one, the Cryo one, and also the Firebolt one. This one is, well, really easy to obtain. All you have to do is kill a Megaton and then go disperse the charges into the little wall bunker area, and then you can obtain it. It's pretty good. You get about 4 shots, I believe, and then you also do have unlimited ammo, which is super useful. And another great thing about it too is if you pair this with Ring of Fire, you have just this ultimate overdoing damage weapon that just kills any zombie at basically any round. It really does go infinite damage when you have Ring of Fire equipped, so that's pretty cool. But the gun by itself is pretty alright. I wouldn't say it's the best, hence why it's number 5 on the list. The cool thing about this weapon is it does last a long time into those higher rounds, hence why it's here as well. I mean, I'm really basing all of these on how they actually function, how long they last, and what really makes them actually good. And well, this does last into the 50s. I mean, it kind of slows down about 55, 60-ish. The charge shot is really good. I mean, as you can see, it just tears zombies up about 150,000 damage. It'll kill them fairly quickly. I think 150,000 or 15,000. I can't even really see it, to be honest. I'm kind of blind. But it is just an all-around good starting weapon. I mean, I really do enjoy it. I feel like it's something that kind of grew on me more so with Cold War. When it first came out, I didn't really like the weapon, and the vast majority of others didn't because, well, the ray gun was out. Why even use the shockwave? It's really sluggish, really annoying. The cons about the weapons are it takes a little too long to kill when you're life-sucking zombies, which gets really annoying unless you have, say, insta-kill or Ring of Fire, and then that's going to be your method of attack. But just a little too slow for me. I don't like that. But I mean, really, other than that, it's pretty fast, mobile, and it's just a pretty good, just alright, wonder weapon. Now, number 4 on our list is going to be the Ray K84. And my oh my, this would be the number 1 if it did not get nerfed in Season 2. Now, the great thing about this weapon is the Ray K, it does have a 30 standard clip, not including Pack-a-Punch, and then an ammo pool of about 300. It does pretty good, decent wonder weapon damage. I mean, it really more so feels like an assault rifle, which I feel like that's what they were really trying to do. Ray K84, the AK-47, kind of just copy and paste. I mean, just with ray gun kind of interblended in between. It's a pretty good all-around weapon. I wouldn't say it's the best. It's more so just there if you want to obtain it. I mean, the quest to get it is fairly annoying, and it's not really worth it in my book. I just do trials for it. But Pack-a-Punch gets 50 extra, it gets 20 extra bullets in the clip, and then also has, I believe, the same ammo pool or a little bit higher than it. With Ring of Fire, I mean, as you can see, with just tier 1, Pack-a-Punch is doing 46,200 damage per headshot with, Deadshot Daiquiri. So really good, but it just doesn't quite make it because it did get nerfed, and it would be a lot better. The range on the weapon is pretty good. I mean, it does have a fairly good amount of range, and this is one of the more rangy weapons in this tier list just to begin with. I mean, it is just an overall just beast of an assault rifle. I wouldn't really take it anywhere besides maybe, Firebase. I don't really play with it in Outbreak, and I feel like a lot of people also don't. It used to be better, but it's pretty alright. Now, the other variant of the Die Shockwave is the Die Electric Bolt, and let me tell you something, this is an absolute beast of a boy. Okay, let me tell you something. This has about 400 in the ammo clip / reserve. It's shared, it says 400 out of 400, but this doesn't reload like the Die Shockwave. The damage overall of it is insane. I mean, this is one of the best sort of wonder weapons completely in the game, but it does have a couple drawbacks. Like I said, you do get a little bit of increasement when it comes to the actual terms of sucking up the zombies, but it's not quite enough. It gets a little bit more range and a little bit extra damage, but really it's just kind of a cool weapon. It does also get critical attacks, which is really cool for a wonder weapon because we don't normally get that, like the ray gun and the shockwave. They don't really get those kinds of things. Even some others in this list, they don't get it, so that makes it really unique in this just one weapon alone. I really do like that, and I think it is something we don't really get all too much, especially just in Cold War. But the thing I really do like about this, it doesn't even take really that long to get, and it does actually work fairly well when it comes to high rounds. I mean, this thing lasts longer than the Die Shockwave. It gets to about around 70-ish, 75, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it does actually get into those higher rounds, unlike the Ray K, which kind of doesn't really get there all too much. I mean, it's your only really reliable resource for around 100 besides like a bullet weapon. But this is a little bit better in my opinion, just because, well, it has infinite ammo and it does more damage. I mean, the Ray K does get critical damage, which I kind of completely spaced, but this isn't exactly just a copy and paste. This one actually kind of feels unique in a way, and it feels like it's actually home to D Machine. And Firebase C with the Ray K just feels like just something you could have put on any map, but they just put it there just for meh reasons. But yeah, that's it for the Electro Bolt. Now, number okay, we got the ray gun. Now, some of you might be like, hey, yo, what? Okay, calm down. The ray gun is a very solid wonder weapon, and just like the Ray K, it used to be a lot better. Okay, you used to be able to tear up zombies and literally like 2 hits on round like 90, 80, those higher rounds. I mean, this was your go-to weapon, right? Like, this was an absolute beast of a weapon. It really does kill zombies about 4,000 damage with tier 2 pack-a-punch. It is round 29, so it'll eventually fluctuate with those higher rounds, so it's not as good. But then again, it is not tier 3, which it gets the boost about 8,000 per shot, which is pretty good. It is really good, well paired with Ring of Fire. You get about 40 in the clip. It used to be a little bit more in the ammo reserves with about, I think, 260, but it's at 140 now. So I mean, you only get about 180 shots total. And when it comes to those higher rounds, after around like 60, 70, it starts to be not so good. I mean, you could pair it with Ring of Fire and make it good, but at the end of the day, the Die Shockwave is a little bit more effective in my opinion, just to kill with Ring of Fire. And then mainly you can just run like, say, like a Howler or like a Gallo or something like that. It is still pretty solid though, I can't lie. I mean, it used to be a lot better, hence why it's not number 1 on our list. But I feel like a lot of people can agree with me on this and at least say this is in their top 3 for Cold War wonder weapons. It is still pretty stable. I mean, it does have splash damage, and the great thing about this ray gun instead of the other ones is it doesn't have too much splash damage. It doesn't absolutely just take away 50 or 75 health per shot when you hit it on the floor. It only takes about 20-ish, I believe so. So if you're in a sticky situation, you could actually kind of spam this and get away with it, which is pretty nice. It doesn't break armor very well. I mean, it takes a couple shots, but at the end of the day, it's nothing you really can't just pick up off the floor. There's only a couple shots that'll really just not do the job for you. So it's pretty good. I like it. It's really fun with Ring of Fire. It's one of those weapons I really do enjoy. Plus, it's the ray gun. I mean, who doesn't like it? I really do enjoy it. Even though it is a remake, which also gets some knockdown points for me, it still is fairly good. And I mean, the camo on it, I know this is completely off topic, just looks really good too. I really do enjoy this weapon. And another thing about it too that does knock off on me as well is it's not very range efficient. Like, it does have some range, but sometimes it just drops off when I'm camping with this map. I don't know, I feel like I have to use this weapon up close or the bullets will just not hit, which kind of gets a little like in the way, and you can notice that. But hey, that's the ray gun. Now, number 1 on our spot is going to be the CRBRS, the Cerberus for close. I mean, this weapon is absolutely amazing, and you can say anything about this weapon, but one thing you can say for sure is that it is one of the most unique wonder weapons we've gotten. Zombies, just in general, literally, like I'm literally so and obsessed with that term with this weapon, to be honest. This is the perfect term to describe this weapon. I mean, you literally get one weapon, right? You get 4 instead. You get to pick them up, you get to play with them, you get to be able to do so much extra things that you couldn't before. See, the thing with the ray gun, it doesn't have all too much range, but with this, you literally can get a beam rifle that has unlimited range, or you can have a short-term like rocket propelling weapon that does a ton of damage up close, and it also tracks and does pretty good up close and far away. The Cerberus Duality pistol, absolutely the coolest one. It's a standard version of this weapon. You literally get 2 versions of shooting, and one's passive and the other is you. So ultimately it does act sort of like a double tap 2.0, which a lot of people don't really notice, but I feel like I'm one of the people who actually do. You do actually get quite a bit in the clip. I mean, it is a pretty balanced amount, and you also have a lot in the ammo pool. You get 50 about in the clip, so about the same as the Ray K, and you never really run out of ammo with this because, well, you're always switching out through weapons, and when you pick one weapon up, if you run out of that ammo, you literally just switch back to the one you had before, which is so cool, and I really do enjoy that they had that. Plus, I didn't realize this on launch, but this thing literally talks to you. I mean, how cool is that, right? I mean, you don't really ever see weapons that talk to you, but I mean, just an overall solid weapon. I think if they nerfed it, it probably would, you know, not be as high on this tier list. It'd probably be number 2 or 3, but they haven't nerfed it, and it pairs fairly well with Mule Kick, and I feel like they added Mule Kick just for this weapon. So I mean, that is going to about wrap it up. I mean, if you gamers did enjoy, you know, leave a like, subscribe, all that cool nonsense. And if you made it this far, you deserve a cookie. But other than that, games, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful day. See ya.